Hi guys, I want to take you through how to create a Laravel RESTful API, and we are going to create 4 operations, or rather 4 functions, and these are the functions that we are going to create. We are going to create function for inserting information into the database using the endpoints. The other function is for reading or rather retrieving that information from database, and that one is updating that information, and the last method that you do is for deleting using the API. And I'll create 4 videos, and each video will be covering one function. So let's get started. In my screen, as you can see, I'm in the passports. This way we are going to test our endpoints once we are done with them. So right now let's go to our IDE. I'm using a VS Code for developing our APIs. You can use your favorite IDE, no problem. I have already installed a Laravel projects here, so I want to build to develop those functions within this Laravel. So the first thing to do is creating the controller that's going to handle all our functions. So let me create that controller very fast. We are going to call our controller article. Our controller will be created in this folder, API folder, which is within the controllers folder. Great. I see our controller is already created. Open. Now this is our new controller that we have just created. Then before we leave our terminal, let's create the second file that we need. We need the model. So this is the model that I'm creating. Make model, and our model we are going to call it article, and migration. Wow, great. This is now the article model as we have just created. Now I want us now to define the parameters that we are going to save our information. Now let's go to our database. Here you see we have a table that is called articles, and by default it always have 2 parameters, ID and timestamps. I want to add another 2 parameters. Table arrow function. Our first parameter will be a string, then article name, and the second parameter will be still a string. Then this one will be, we'll call it description. Great, and you're done. I have already connected my Laravel projects with my database on the .env here. Hope you have done that. This way I've connected to my local server. So what I want to do now, because I have already defined all my parameters is doing the migration. PHP & migrate. Enter. So great. We have already migrated our database, and we have created the database in our. We have created that table in our database. It is opening. We will check once they have opened. Now let's go to our model, that is article model. Inside there, we want to define the parameters that we are going to use. So we'll say protected, variable fillable. This guy. Yeah, variable fillable. This will be an array because that's where we're going to define our actually there are two parameters. We have only two. We have name and description. So here we have a name and description. Then before we leave this model, let's also define our table. So protected variable table. It is called articles. So this is where we are going to save our information. Save. There's an error. Oh yeah, we haven't terminated this. Alright, let's open our database. As with database open, we can proceed to create the first function in our controller. So let's go to our controller, article controller, and we are going to create our first function. The advantage of using this extension, this one, resource, it helps us to create there are 5 functions that we want to build, starting from the create, store method, edit method, update method, and destroy method. But in our case, we want to create our own functions. So I want us to delete everything within that class. So let's create our function, the first function, public function. The first one is for saving information. So save data. It's a function. Then we are going to create our function inside this, and we will need to use our model. So let's import our model here. So we say use models, and then the articles that you are going to use, the model article you're going to use there, and we are done. So the remaining part here is now creating the function. How do we create this function that will be saving the information that will be coming from Postman? Now this is how we are going to create this function. So just create a random variable. You can call it article. We assign it to new, our article. Then copy this guy, paste that guy there, and say arrow function. The first one is the name, the first parameter is the name, then this name is equals variable request here, which we are going to create right now. Come here inside your function, we are going to use this request, and then our function name. The same to our description, outcome, our function, description, request, our function, description, then finally we want to save in the information in the database save function. And you know what, guys? We are done. So we can create a response here for us to get the response from our endpoints, and just say variable response, inside there will be message, and this message we assign it to that data is saved successfully. And we want to echo this one as a JSON, so you'll say echo JSON encode our response variable, we pass it there. Guys, we are done with that function. The last thing that we're going to do is creating the routes that will be called by our API. Just go to the routes API here, and I have quite a number of the routes here that I have developed before, but so we can use one. Let's say I want to leverage on this one. Just copy. We'll call it articles. Then this is the path where is our controller. It is the app HTTP controllers API. Then our controller is called article. This guy is called article, is article controller. Then our function is save and data as a function. Now when this endpoint is fired, it's now going to execute this function here, and this function is now going to process this information into a database through our model. That's why we have used our model here, and our model it's know very well it's going to save that information into a table that's called articles. Guys, let's go to our database and see if you have that table, the one that we migrated here, as you can see. This is our database. We have table here, Let's see what is there in that table. We have there are actually 5 parameters. We have ID, we have name, we have description, we have created ads and updated ad, and you say our table is empty. So now we want us to insert information in this table. Now what we're going to do, we are going to start our server here, php @serve. Great, it have already started. Copy that URL, come, that's now this is where we are going now to use our postman. Copy that URL there, and our endpoints, we have given the name articles, and it has a post method because it's saving. So here we are going to use posts, and we can confirm our roots here. Our article is using post, so it's very important for you when you are using this endpoint in postman to select posts. Then from there go to body form, and then from there this is where we are going to, we already have the name, we add the description, then we can give it let's say the name of article will be, let's say Laravel RESTful API. This will be our article name, and then description. You can have the same description, but this one will just add PHP. And guys, we can fire this guy. Those articles. We can fire this guy and see what he gets. Yeah. What's article notes? It is article, my friend, not that one. Saying okay, it will be API. Oh yeah, guys, we have saved information in our database. Wow, so amazing. So let's check our database and see if there's something that has been saved. Great, we have saved information in our database. Great, that's the first function that I have created. The next video that I'm creating is how can you now delete this information or retrieve this information from database here into client's side. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys.